leader and of the Tea Party movement and a healthcare executive. He's also a former White House speechwriter and a Heritage Foundation policy analyst. I'm a big fan of the Heritage Foundation. I don't know about you. He spoke at the Tea Party in New Jersey last night, and we got to get him in and out of here because he got another speech in Dallas Tea Party later on this evening. So let's give a big round of applause for Michael Johns.
Okay, Washington, D.C., how are you? What a great day, July 4th. 233 years of freedom we celebrate today. And why are we here today? Why are we here today? To keep the freedom train moving. Friends, I'm sure, like many of you, I was at the April 15th Tea Parties. I spoke in Boston. I spoke at a very large event in New York City with Newt Gingrich, and was in a great event in Philadelphia. Last night, New Jersey, lots of enthusiasm. Tonight, I'm leaving for Dallas to speak before what are supposed to be 50,000 people. My friends, the Tea Party movement is becoming the most powerful, potent political force in this country. This administration, which is built with very intelligent people, very capable people, is also filled with very arrogant people. They are an administration that thinks they're in the driver's seat right now. They have not confronted this movement yet. We need to keep it going. I want to start with some words about the holiday we celebrate today, July 4th. And when we celebrate July 4th, of course, we immediately come to the signing of the Declaration. And you know, I think it becomes increasingly difficult, unfortunately, for many Americans to draw back on the historical lessons that need to be at the forefront of our understanding of current public policy. When you look at the Declaration of Independence and you read what was signed by the 50-plus signatories in Philadelphia on that day, there seem to me to be two lessons that we can draw and that we should keep in mind as we go forward from here. Number one was that in defining American liberty, our founding fathers never depicted it as a right bestowed on us by government. They said it was a right endowed to us by our Creator. All of the founding documents of this great country of ours cite the God-granted freedoms that we enjoy in this nation. Now, why is that important? It's important because a God that gives us liberty we cannot have that liberty then taken away by government. It is our liberty to have and our liberty to defend. And let me say this about the Tea Party movement. What's impressive and what's important, and what I think the major media is trying to undermine, this is a legitimate movement of the people. We are here as Republicans, as Democrats, as libertarians, as conservatives, as anything, but we are united as Americans defending freedom. And when you think of freedom, you have to be drawn back to the Constitution of the United States. And I think, you know, there's plenty of room in this country for legitimate debate over energy policy, over health policy, over tax policy, and I think all of us together share the same vision that this government has become too large and too intrusive, but most importantly, it is operating in ways that are not consistent and compatible with the Constitution of this nation. 535 members of Congress sit up here. How many of them could tell us what the 10th Amendment says? How many of them ponder even the constitutional ramifications of the legislation that they introduce and that they sponsor and that they vote on without even reading? And that's the frustration that is bringing, literally today, 1,300 Tea Parties, probably in excess of 1 million Americans together to say this government has become distant from the people. It needs to rebuild that bridge. And I think we send the signal to those good, liberty-loving members of Congress that we will work with you, we will support you, and you can count on that support. But we also send the opposite message to those members of Congress, to those legislators, to those government bureaucrats and officials, and to this administration. When you undermine American liberty, you can count on our opposition. We will oppose you, and we will remove you. The arrogance of this administration started in the campaign that we all witnessed very closely. And I think there, like I said, there's legitimate room in this nation for debate. Our concern is the administration here has sold the American people a book of lies. It has won over American people on a book of lies. And when you look at why the popularity of this president is beginning to erode, it's because the American people are a good people, the American people are decent people, the American people are beginning to see through this mirage. The same president who said he would discuss public financing for his campaign and then refused to do it. The same president who said he would not raise taxes and immediately on his first acts is introducing and sponsoring legislation that is among the greatest tax increases in American history in this cap and tax legislation that is seeking a pay-as-you-go approach to health care. Let me tell you what that is. It is a euphemism for increasing taxes on the middle income of this classes of this America. That is what this administration is doing. And that is the concern we have. They have misled the American people. They are misleading the American people. Now, I said that the Declaration, when you read the Declaration, that there were really two lessons that we have to draw from it. I mentioned that the first is that our liberty is a liberty granted us by God. It is a connectivity between this great nation and God that can never be separated. If it is separated, it erodes and possibly demolishes the liberty we enjoy. So that's why I think when you look at liberty-loving Americans, you often find they're also God-believing Americans, because those two things go hand in hand.